I think it's really unfortunate what happened, but it's not an exclusive thing to Nigeria. We see this thing happening even in England. I think last season they had to fine Watford for the pitch invasion from their fans. At times it's the excitement. When fans are excited, when fans are very passionate, they tend to lose control of what they're supposed to do. But the most important thing is about security. It's about the security people doing their jobs. So it's not enough to go and get 200 policemen on the pitch of play and put them on the stadium. They have to know what to do. In most instances, our security men are only concerned about the game. Once the game ends, they believe their work ends. So we have to work with the security agencies and the police and all the crowd to understand that their work starts before, during, and after the match, until everybody leaves the stadium peacefully and safely, and everybody complies to the rules and regulations. That's why we link up with the IG of police, trying to set up a special squad for next season that will be in charge of our match venues. Why special squad? Because they need to be educated and trained to understand the complexities about running match day activities, different from any other policing. The fans need to be treated as fans. They need to be encouraged to do what they have to do. And then we have been working with the supporters club to ensure that they educate their fans, they educate their followers to know what to do. Yimba were fined 2.5 million for the pitch invasion on the final day, and they accepted the fine. They even sent an apology. The fans sent an apology. I think this season it might not happen again.
Well, that's why I said it's not just about the pitch. What happens outside the pitch also affects the round of the game on the pitch. We need to engage, we need to educate. I think we've been doing a lot with the teams, but how do we also carry the fans along? How do we tell them, hey, in a live match, this and this are what is expected of you. This is the dress code, this is the behavior, because we are actually showcasing Nigeria to the rest of the world. So a certain level of behavior is standard and can only be tolerated. So it's the LMC needs to also work. They need to engage the supporters club of some of these teams, provide kind of training for them as well, let them understand what the future holds. And if we do this and everybody comes and work in the same energy, the same synergy, and understand that this is a project that we are all involved in, and if it works, we'll all benefit from it, I'm sure they will understand.
Well, crowd control, it wasn't really so firm, so to say, because you can understand from the passion of the Aimba fans in Aba as well as in Lagos after the last games. Aimba has not won the league for some time. They won the league now, so their fans came in to celebrate. But it wasn't an everyday occurrence. If you check the history of the league, this year has been the best for us in terms of crowd problems. We've not had any major issue, but we cannot sit down and say we're there. No, we're not halfway there.
The crowd came to see good football, and in the NPFL of these days, lots of good football is played, even by away teams. The 2014-2015 season saw a good showing by traveling teams. Of the 380 matches played, 92 were drawn and 31 were won by away teams, who scored 226 goals, representing 28% of the 816 totals scored. It meant the competition delivered the sort of excitement week in, week out that everyone wanted.
Imagine a team that drew 4 home matches. I mean, it's very difficult to come out of it in Nigerian setup, where you draw 4 home matches and you still went as far as going to win the league. You won a whole lot of away matches. That has to show there is a change, and the change is coming from the leadership. The LMC set up a very good structure. I mean, they started it, but we are beginning to see it started paying dividend, that the league is no longer the way it used to be. That you really have to work hard, have a good team, most especially, to be able to compete.
But it's not like things are not winning away games. If you play better, most times because we had some better referees too, then you definitely win. But it's not like the way it used to be. We've always known as a player, we've always known that, look, for you to win the league, you just have to push once the league starts. If you're able to gather your points, immediately the league is starting, because we all know at second round is everybody wins home, everybody loses away. But when we came into this season, we saw the way the league started. People started losing almost immediately at home. Clubs were able to go outside, win 2-3 games, and then we felt maybe it's normal, but since the inception of the LMC, things have really changed, but we didn't believe it was going to shoot up like the way it did this season. And then at some point, we got into the second round, and things were still winning away. And then everybody now said, anything can happen. So let's go all out for it. And that's why you saw players now change their attitude, change mentality. Everybody knew you can go to elsewhere and win games. And it continued like that. And I think the next season will far much be better than this if things are still kept the way they are.
Though it is argued in informed quarters that too much premium is placed on so-called away wins.
Over the years, this particular season has been perhaps the most competitive, but not the most competitive in the history of the league. It goes up and down. But this particular season, over the last few years, I must indicate that over the last few years. However, winning at home or away shouldn't be the basis for assessing performance or followership of the league. People come to the league because they're going to see good football, right? We've increased the intensity of competition by giving some a bonus or incentive to teams who are able to perhaps win away. I wouldn't say that is what it is, but it's a combination of factors. If you are sure the referee will be fair, I won't interrupt with the game. You go there and play with all your heart. If you are sure your club will pay you bonuses for winning away, you go in expectation of the bonus because that's increased income for you. The league management has turned some of the income earned to things to compensate players for doing well away. Besides, we also know that the world over, where football is played, betting is a major factor. It's a major contributory sponsorship factor. And we had a discussion with betting companies in the country before the last season started. And they were like, our results are too predictable. It would be more attractive to them to get involved if we made it less predictable. And how do we do that? Of course, there were complaints about referees, and we went further and saw there was also the psychology of the players who arrive away games feeling tired because of poor rules, journeys that should have been done 1 hour by air, they do it 14 hours, sometimes overnight, in crunched up boxes, vehicles, and things like that. So they don't arrive in comfort, they don't give their best. So okay, let's introduce some incentive. If you win away, you get 250,000. Share that amongst your boys. There's enough money for them to get excited and want to do their best. Whether that is working or whether that's what it is, we're not very sure. But don't forget, it was meant to attract the betting companies, and they haven't come in the number that we expect. But we believe that the factor of certainty or uncertainty of the result has been resolved enough to attract the betting companies. But do not dismiss the other psychological problems we have. Tired players traveling, playing twice a week will not give you the best. Sometimes the best players don't even travel for away matches. So some they give you perfunctory performance. But this keeps changing, particularly as they have some incentive based on the result that they're able to churn out. Yes, I think we had about 31 or 32 away wins this season. Last season it was about 26. The number keeps going up and down. About the late 2009, 2010, I think we had about 32, about the same number that we have right now. So if it goes down next season, don't use that to say, oh, the league is doing it. That's not the factor to assess league performance.
But as players acted out their part in the spectacle, their rewards and processes oiling them constantly drew negative press. The welfare reforms of the LMC has seen improved pay packages to players, but this has been dented in large part by owner governments failing to meet their responsibilities. Virtually every club owed players one form of payment or the other. It was especially difficult as 2015 was an election year in Nigeria with priorities of governments on many other issues.